Hello once again, it is I, Bpendragon, with another episode of Bpendragon Presents on a squeaky chair. Today it is Chapter 3 of The Book of Friendship by BillyColt. Currently one reader. That would be myself. Shall we begin? You really think it'll help? Sure, said Brother Squirrel. I mean, hold on. It was evening, and they were walking down the road. Neither of them were feeling very good. It had been a bad first day. They'd witnessed 2 murders, and no pony was interested in hearing about friendship. I'm kind of gathering the two go hand in hand. Brother Squirrel stopped, sitting back on his haunches, taking one of their books and flipping through it. Right here, he said. Good friends can have a lot of fun going out on the town. Restaurants, parties, plays, all kind of stuff. And this is a tavern, said Brother Squirrel, closing the book and putting it back into his saddlebag. We can get food and meet ponies. Sure, said Brother White. Sounds great. It didn't actually sound great to him. He'd been met with nothing since racism since he'd arrived, but it wasn't as though the day could get worse for him. He hoped. I hope so, too. The tavern they went to was in pretty much the same condition as the rest of the town. Bare essentials, so to speak, all made of wood. Brother White fondly remembered one place he liked eating back home. Whole building looked like an ice cream cone. No such places here. Everything was brown or gray or black. Mal Reynolds would be so happy right about here. Though Malcolm would probably be a Pegasus because, well, the whole flying around the universe thing. He didn't complain out loud. He looked around as they entered. 2 adjectives described the place. Loud and hot. There was a fireplace that seemed larger than necessary, with a fire that took up roughly a quarter of the space provided by the hearth. So, in other words, the fireplace was huge, and the fire was huge, but the fire was smaller, huge, by a quarter? Okay. Just trying to visualize. And I've got something in my eye. One moment. I can see clearly now the dust is Gippsland. Okay, carrying on. There were a lot of ponies in there, mostly stallions, save for the barmaid, a cream-colored filly, what appeared to be a frothy mug for a cutie mark. The stallions were all loud, and conversations were nearly unintelligible. Occasionally, the brothers could hear some pony trying to sing. I suddenly had, I don't even know what it was running through my head, but it was like, oh boy. Brother Squirrel tried to keep up the cheerful attitude White had exemplified earlier. Hi, he said when they walked in, to nobody in particular. As he had spoken to no pony in particular, no pony answered him. Brother White walked up to the counter. What can I get you? Yeah, I can't do the high voice. This is actually a pretty good voice, I'd say. Okay. What can I get you? Asked the barmaid, as she spotted his horn. Say, we don't get any of your kind around here. I noticed, said Brother White flatly. Colton next to him grunted. Oh, look at him with his fancy tie, the colt muttered. Them horners. I got a tie, too, said Brother Squirrel, indicating his matching red tie. Brother White ignored him. I'm with the fraternity. Oh, so that's why they didn't shoot you, said the boy. I don't know what I'm trying to say. My tongue can't form the words. Oh, so that's why they didn't shoot you, said the barmaid. Sorry, she added, seeing his pained expression. During all this, Brother Squirrel was looking around at the other ponies. He was nervous about this place, and he wondered whether the book's advice had been right. Could I have a glass of milk? Brother White asked. The barmaid looked at him like he'd asked for a bucket of sludge. Aren't you a little old for that? White? Brother Squirrel quietly to him. I don't think they regularly drink milk, except for the foals. Why not? Asked Brother White. Another wonderful piece of luck he thought. Well, they don't have cows. Sure. What about goats? Do they got goat? Goat milk's good. I like goats. Goat milk. Goat milk's good. Better cheese is made from goat. Good feta is made from goat milk. Some of the best blue is made from goat milk. Yes. Chevrolet in general is good. Oh, said Brother White. Sat. BillyColt, fix your fic! Brother White sat there for a while. Yeah, you need another action there, I would say. It would seem to be that you would want to say, oh, and Brother White sat there, or oh, Brother White said sitting there, or something. You need a said in there. The racism occurred to him. Figures. You have a bathroom? Right over there, said the barmaid. Over to the left, next to the staircase. Thank you, said Brother White, following the instructions. Brother Scroll took his place at the counter. You'll have to pardon him, he said. It's been a rough day. He didn't do anything wrong, said the barmaid, filling another Colt's glass. Where are you from again? Equestria? That's right, said Brother Scroll, nodding. And they let Horners just come and go everywhere? Wrong person. And they let Horners just come and go everywhere? Asked the Colt next to him. Yes, and we don't use racial slurs, reprimanded Scroll. Brother White didn't actually need the bathroom. It was a terrible bathroom anyway, rank with the stench of ammonia and feces. Crude graffiti, from which he learned the barmaid's name was Tap, was scrawled over the walls of the stall. Brother White just sat there, and he started to cry. He came out a few minutes later, feeling a little bit better. Crying helps. And returned to the counter. Brother Scroll, meanwhile, had been invited to a nearby table with some colts who, for a change, were not extremely rude. So, what is this book you're selling? Asked one of them. It's the Book of Friendship, and we're not selling, responded Brother Scroll. You can just have it. Go on, take it. He held it out to the colt, who, curiosity and courtesy compelling him, took it and started looking through it. You see, there was this unicorn filly named Twilight Sparkle, Brother Scroll continued. A unicorn? Yes, a unicorn, said Brother Scroll quickly, so as to get past that part, and she was the star pupil of our Princess Celestia. She was tasked by this princess to make some friends. Princess? Princess? Said one of those colts. Seriously? Yes, seriously. And in this book we have her collected letters. That explains all these dear Princess Celestia things, said the pony reading the book. But there's more to the book than that. It also has other stories and lots of advice, party games, how to resolve an argument, that kind of thing. Huh. Well, said Tap. He's certainly enthusiastic. Okay, I don't know what it is. I'm able to do Tap's voice about half the time. I think part of it is I can't go above about 1500 hertz without breaking myself. Well, why shouldn't he be? Asked Brother White. It's what we're here to do, after all. He decided to try his luck with ordering a drink. Sarsaparilla? No. Root beer float? No. Yeah, no milk, said Brother White, feeling a little stupid for not remembering that. Apple cider? Cider? Asked Tap, almost relieved that he'd named something they had. Sure thing. With the voice I'm using, I want to throw in so many honeys and that, it's like Southern Belle, which doesn't seem quite right for Tap. She took a bottle from under the counter and placed it in front of him. Thanks, said Brother White, opening with magic, eager to have some sort of relief. He lifted it to his mouth and Tap narrowly avoided getting covered in that terrible mixture of drink and saliva. What is that? Asked Brother White. Hard cider, she responded. Guess I get where the name comes from. He tried drinking a little more slowly. That helped. Hey, White, I think I'm doing good, said Brother White, sitting next to him. They actually seemed interested in what one of them took the book. Thanks, said the colt in question, giving the book back. That was interesting. And he left the bar. Well, for a little while, anyway, said Scroll as he watched Brother White take another drink. What is that? He asked. Cider, said Brother White. Hard cider, actually, corrected Tap. Whatever that means. Brother Scroll said, is that alcohol? Yeah? Said Tap, as though it were obvious. She had to wonder just how clueless were these two colts. It wasn't like they're idiots or anything, but the lack of awareness was jarring. I dare you. Move to Canterlot. Do it, Billy! Do it! Move to Canterlot. What's that? Brother White inquired, though only half interested. It's a thing that in drinks that makes you well, Brother Scroll said, unsure. We don't have it in Equestria. Guns, alcohol, Brother White listed, lack of house. How do you know all this stuff? I read, said Brother Scroll. That's what my cutie mark means. He smiled, pleased with himself. Tap put a bottle in front of him. Huh? On the house, she said. You two could use a little booze. I don't know. It's not that bad, said Brother Sprite, once you get used to it. Scroll looked at Brother White. He did seem to be a little more chipper than he had been a few minutes ago. Dude, that's just the alcohol talking. I swears it. I really need a webcam to record myself doing this. My face right now. You mad? Some time passed. Hey, frat boy! Shouted another colt. Can you ponies sing where you're from? Can I sing? Asked Brother White, slurring his speech a little. I'll tell you something, mister. I was the tenor section lead for 3 years straight, all while holding a 4.0 GPA. Let me see if I can sing a... He stumbled a little bit, almost dropping the bottle from his telekinetic grip. I'd say grasp would be a better way to put it. But okay. I know to this fine drink of yours. He got up on the table and began to sing. BillyColt, you expect me to sing? Crap. Okay, let me read through it. Let me drink in your wonderful nectar of this very particular kind, and I think I'll thank my friend Elector for this a very astute kind of mind. Doesn't seem very bardity-ish, but whatever. Brother Skull was just sitting at the counter. He hadn't drank quite as much as Brother White, but he was still tipsy. He wasn't joining in on the festivities. Hey, you all right? Asked Tap. She was concerned. He seemed like a fool with the way he had acted. Yeah, said Brother Scroll. He giggled bashfully. What's so funny? You're purty, said Brother Scroll. Dopey expression plastered on his face. You can't say that properly without a dopey expression. Tap laughed, half at Scroll's expression and half at the remark. She was used to receiving crass, drunken catcalls from her job. Looked like Scroll was just going to fit right in. You want to come upstairs? She asked. Oh, all right, Scroll said through an increasingly frantic fit of giggles. He leapt the counter and walked up the stairs, while Scroll swayed slightly as he walked. Oh, never shall I recall a sigh. I hate singing. Let me try this again. Oh, never shall I recall sorrow with the bossa da ba da ba dum. I got no tune. But if I had a bucket with tune in it, tune would be all over the place, not in the bucket. Okay, let me just read this one. Oh, never shall I recall sorrow, with a bottle beside me to stay, without hope or care for tomorrow, and the worries that life held at bay. She led him to a room with one musty bed, which Stroll sat on, giggling. Funny? Tap asked, smiling. Well, not really, said Stroll. Not many ponies have been nice to us today. Well, that's not very fair, she said, sitting next to him. I'll be nice to you. She kissed him on the cheek, making him blush. Oh. Fire! box. Why you crash? And we're back. Firefox decided it was time to crash. Okay. Okay. Here we are. Something wrong? She asked. No, said Brother. Said he's breathing a bit heavier than before. It's just that, well, his voice went very quiet. This is my first time. I know. Scene break! The next morning, White and Scroll found themselves back at the mission house. They weren't in their bed, just on the floor in the main room. Roy groaned as he got up off the floor. My head. Put his hook to his head, and he found oddly that his tie was around his head and not his neck. What about my head? Scroll asked as he looked at White. What? Asked White, looking for a mirror. As there was none around, he had to head to the bathroom. He found his mane was scraggly and a black eye. What happened? Asked Brother White, coming out of the water closet. Technically, the water closet, I believe, would be the toilet itself. So, he's in the toilet itself? Let me go to all-powerful Google real quick. Because it may be that I've got things mixed up. Water closet. Flush toilet. Okay. It would appear that water closet itself is not, I don't think, from what I'm seeing on Wikipedia, it's just the toilet itself. Oh, cool! They've even got an audio clip! Toilet humor aside! Why does Wikipedia even have an audio clip of that? Okay, sorry. Toilet humor aside, BillyColt. What? TV off. Was the TV on? It was turned to nothing. Cool. I don't know, said Scroll, shrugging. We were drinking and... You know what? Said Brother White. Prepare. March out the door. No more drinking. That stuff's bad for us. Opened the door and sunlight came pouring in. Ah! He said. My head. He groaned. Maybe we should wait until a little bit later to start mission work, Brother Scroll suggested. There was a knock on the door. Brother White opened the door a crack, wondering who'd be interested in coming in. He saw a smiling earth pony who was disheveled in a manner similar to himself. Hello? Said Brother White, opening the door a little wider. Hey, said the earth pony, walking. I'd come by and see how you were doing. Hope you don't mind me inviting myself in. The door on the side of the door says welcome. Said Brother White, blinking, trying to get his head clear. Yeah, that's right. We're just a little bit. Yeah, I remember my first drink and my first fight, said the stranger, drifting off into fond memories. Fight? Asked Brother White. Yep, said the stranger earth pony. You know, you proved me wrong about you Horners. I always thought you guys were wusses. Well, you kind of were a wuss, but you're one crafty bastard, I tell you. The way you got me with that chair from behind, while you were in front of me, he laughed, feeling the back of his neck. But I didn't let you get all the blows. You gave me the black eye, eh? Sure, said Brother White, his head starting to clear. Pardon me if I don't want to repeat a performance. All's in good fun, isn't it? He turned to Brother Scroll. And you? Me? Yeah, you. I saw you going up with that. Lucky guy, you. How was it? Wait, what? That's Brother White, going straight back to, quotes, confused. Brother Scroll, however, was no longer confused. He remembered what happened the night before. Oh, hey, look, you can't make a movie out of it. It's not The Hangover. Well, asked the Earth Bunny. Brother Scroll bolted out the mission and tore down the street. He had to get back to the tower. Brother Scroll, wait! Asked Brother White, feebly trying to follow him. Unfortunately, he hadn't received the same shock to wake him up. And I have scissors. That makes no sense. So about this book of yours, said the Earth Pony, looking at the stack on the desk. Brother Scroll had a little bit of difficulty finding the tavern, as most of the buildings looked the same. But when he got there, he was all out of breath. The tavern wasn't as full as it had been. The Earth Ponies didn't drink in the morning when there was work to be done. But, was I doing something? I was reading. That was weird. Be gone, little poltergeist, wherever you are. Not that I believe in poltergeists. Okay, where was I? Right about where the words say cross-eyed. Because my eyes are crossed. Okay. Herp the derp there. Okay. Brother Scroll had a little bit of difficulty finding the tavern, as most of the buildings looked the same. But when he got there, he was all out of breath. The tavern wasn't as full as it had been. Oh, there we are. Okay. You didn't wait to get cleaned up after you got to come back, did you? Huh? Said Brother Scroll, when he realized his necktie was around his head. He sat down and frantically fiddled with his tie, trying to get it organized. It was a futile effort, more or less. That thing needed to be ironed before it was presentable again. Well, it's just, I don't give out repeat performance. I don't just give out repeat performances, kid. Brother Scroll looked up. Well, yeah, no, Brother tried to find the... I just wanted to talk about... Talk? asked Tap, sitting down with a perplexed expression. You want to talk about it? What's there... Well, what we did. There's nothing to say, kid, she said before softening her voice. Listen, you're a cute kid, and I thought you had a rough day. And I figured you didn't need to lose it now. You never would. If you didn't lose it now, you never would. So, it didn't... His voice a little shaky. It didn't mean anything? Not really, she said. What? Brother Scroll's posture sank. It's just, he said very quietly, that it was my first... I looked out the floor. I wanted it to be special, he said, almost whispering. A couple of the handful of Earth Ponies looked at him. It was a rather pathetic scene. Pathetic, not prophetic. So if it was prophetic, that would mean that the Tapex scroll shippers are all over the place. Then again, because Rule 34, I'm sure they exist. But not necessarily because Rule 34. Listen, she said, leaving the counter. Her voice was very soft. You have to learn sometimes, and nothing is special. Things just happen, and they don't mean anything. Scroll looked up. She could see that he was on the verge of tears. That's not true, he said, choking on his words. It has to mean something. That happened. His voice deteriorated into a barely could hear it squeaking. That meant something to me. Scroll! Shouted a voice. Brother White burst through the door. There you are. Are you... Brother Scroll was... I'm throwing things at my computer. Not because of the fix, but because I'm a klutz. There you are. Are you... Brother Scroll was crying from where he sat on the floor. What's wrong? He asked. Brother Scroll just shook his head. He couldn't talk. White looked at Tap, and the two shared an expression of confusion. Come on, Scroll, said White quietly, hugging him up. It's okay. We've got some work to do. Brother Scroll nodded, making a little sniffling noise, and they left the tavern. Tap stood there, still feeling confused about what had just happened. She was snapped out of it by a leery comment from one of the payments. How come you never gave me a freebie? Because you can just fuck yourself. 1180 total views of this chapter. I think that's what that is. Very well written, and I totally failed it. I'm sorry. Okay. This has been another episode of Bpendragon Presents. A man, a microphone, some fic, and a lowercase p. Bpen is out. Peace!